Okay, so here we're working on a little bit of toy play. So toy play is going to be important for a lot of different reasons in our puppy, but one of them being getting them used to dropping something that they have and trading us for another toy. So you'll see that I'm kind of playing with her, giving her a little bit of tug, engaging with her and this toy that she has, and then getting her a new one, getting her excited about it, tossing it out, and making that trade. So here she does something precious, and she actually just gets both of them, which is fine. You can't do this incorrectly. We're just practicing, but the goal is to be able to do these trade-offs for a lot of reasons. But like I said, the first one is being used to swapping toys. And when does that come in handy? Well, it comes in handy for either a game of fetch or for drop-its. So if she has a remote, she's not going to run and hide from us. She's going to be like, oh, mom loves to play with me and my great toys. I'm going to take this new toy to my mom, hand it to her, and then when we grab an appropriate toy and ask her to drop the remote and take this new one, she's used to this game. Great, it's a game. I get a new toy, I gave her a toy, we're all on the same page. It's also going to come in handy later for playing fetch and we need them to drop it. Lots of different things. Okay, and here's us just practicing the beginning parts of her recall. And you can tell you've been practicing because she's doing amazing.
Yes.
Very purposeful. She definitely heard her name. She's definitely coming in. She knows what the word yes means. She's doing a really good job. Okay, so here I'm sitting down about to work on some capturing sits. And when I sit down with a handful of treats, puppies generally get really excited and come at me and try to get the treats and get all excited. And I usually just wait for them to give up. And then I mark them for sitting down so that they learn on their own that sitting down, backing off gets treats, but being pushy like this doesn't. However, she's not catching on right now. I even tried moving it behind my back at some point. And she just goes back around it, and she's just going to determine to find them. So she takes a break to go get some water. I use that chance to do a behavior I know she knows, which is a recall, which is the beginnings of her recall, I should say. I use her name. She comes and sits. And then the rest of the time that I'm on the floor, instead of just having my hands down low, I have them where she can't reach them, up on my shoulder. So here goes that recall. She gets marked and treated for that. And then I'm expecting to wait longer, but while I'm treating her, she gives me a sit. So I mark and treat because that's what we're going to work on. Okay, so I toss a treat out to get her out of that sitting position so that we can redo it. And here my hands are in a weird position. I'm holding them out of place to see what I can get her to do. And my thought is if I hold them away from my body, she won't try to jump because there's just air to jump on. And it worked, but it's still a weird position. So this next time, I'm just going to go ahead and put it up kind of higher on my shoulder, just like that. Okay, so I'm now just waiting, giving her that chance to kind of make the connection of what can I do to get these treats. So here she's looking, sniffing for some treats. There you go. She sat far away. She sat kind of off to the side, but at this point, it doesn't matter. We're just marking yes when her butt hits the ground. So she makes a connection of this is how I'm going to get the cookies that I want. Yes. And you can really see that she's really making the connection between the behavior and the reward because at first she kind of just plopped down sitting, off to my left. She kind of plopped down sitting and got surprised when we marked and treat. But she's doing it very deliberately now. She's sitting, she's making eye contact, she's expecting the treat to come because she's did the butt thing. My butt's on the ground. I'm excited for this cookie coming because I know it's going to happen. So that's what we want in our puppies. We want to set up situations that are predictable for them. That way they can be successful. We also want to make sure that we're keeping those sessions short and sweet. We want to keep them engaged and keep them going. And they're so young. The only way really to do that is to keep it pretty short. So here's just a quick video of her working on her little puzzle toy. She's not too keen on the kibble, so I made sure to put some other treats in it with the kibble just to get her working on it. And here we are in X pen. She was out for a little while before this, and I popped her up before she kind of fell asleep. So I made sure to give her some activities to do inside the X pen before she went ahead and took her nap. Okay, so here we are outside. This is my first time taking her outside, so I'm just kind of seeing how we're doing. She does pretty well when I clip the leash to her collar, so she's not immediately upset about it. She's not immediately trying to get away. I did see it while we were outside quite a bit, but it wasn't right away. So all I'm doing here is sitting down with her and giving her cookies. We're doing a little bit of a toss out so that she has to walk and take a few steps with that leash on her collar. I'm having her climb the step, and I'm having her do different positions, just movement in her while the leash is on. I'm not trying to get it to pull tight, just want it to be around. So this I did for a few minutes, and then we went back inside for a while, and then we came back out probably 45 minutes later. So here we're doing a lot more movement. So I'm encouraging her to move with me by having a treat out and luring her. Sorry about that. And she does great. She does get to a point, like most puppies do, where she's fed up. And unfortunately, she's off the camera when she does that. But so I'm doing a back and forth thing. Her follow me, I follow her. Off the camera here, I went for her to follow me, and she did pretty good. Then I followed her, and then we ran into a problem. That's when she started pulling and getting frustrated. And after that initial pull and frustration, she had a hard time coming back. So I stepped into the bushes where she was at, and I put a treat to her nose, and I lured her out. And then she got lots of cookies when she came out. So that's when I went ahead and fixed the camera to see if she'd do it again. And sure enough, she does. So I'm showing her the cookies again and kind of just calling her name, being encouraging. It's not really working, so I decided to make it a game. And we're going to be silly and goofy. And she went ahead and followed me. Now, this is my sign to call it a day. We're going to wrap it up, go inside. We don't need to keep her out here longer pitching a fit. So that's when I went and picked her up, and we went back inside. Okay, so here's later that evening. We're working on some more capturing, but I wanted to see how she would do with a different position. So we're working on some downs. I'm not adding any verbal cues to any of these yet. I'm just kind of introducing her to the idea of capturing and working for her treat. And she does great. So here she's sitting. I sat before, got a cookie, waiting for it. And then she thinks about it. She's making these decisions on, let me try different positions and different ways to manipulate Amanda to give me food. And it works. She does great. So I'm doing it just the same way. I'm tossing a treat out to get her up and out of that position, and then I'm just waiting for her to get back in. So right here, get a little bark, a little head jerk. She did figure it out, so that was good. So that was stress. She's stressed. She doesn't know how to go about this. She's not getting her way. So she did a little bark and a little fit. So then I waited to see if she figured it out, and she did. But that's my line. So I decided to end the session there just so she wouldn't get more frustrated. Okay, so here's just a quick video of me preparing her dinner. I'm putting this dinner in her snuffle mat to see if it would take a little bit longer and a little bit more energy out of her, because you can see this is the evening and she has gone a little nutty. So she's really excited. So I'm waiting just for her to settle. I don't ask a whole bunch from our little ones at this point, but I'm waiting for her to sit. And then I put it down as soon as she shows me that she can be patient. And she worked on this snuffle mat for probably about 15 minutes, which was awesome. It tired her out. It got her little brain working, and then she got her dinner all at the same time. So it was great. Okay, so in this next clip, we're working on a little bit of that passive socialization that we talked about. So I went ahead and went to the park with the girls. I let them play while we sat in the back of the trunk. So you can see her pawing, you can kind of hear her whining. She had a hard time settling down. So in the very beginning, I'm just tossing treats in. I'm not really waiting for any sort of behavior. I'm just going to give her treats. I want this to be a good experience for her. Yeah, it's hard to sit and watch a busy playground and sit still in a crate, but we can do it. We can get used to it. We can observe our environment without having to be part of it. And as we were there, she kind of went back and forth between settling, where she got extra cookies, and then kind of getting upset again. So I think it's just, something to work on. It's going to be a good practice for her.